That's just the thing. So anyway, now let's jump and we're going to read Matthew's 9. So we're going to go up here. Yeah, so this is Matthew's 9 and verse 18. While he spake these things unto them, behold, there came a certain ruler, worshipped him, saying, My daughter is even now dead, but come and lay thy hand upon her, and she shall live. And Yahushua arose and followed him, and so did his disciples. And behold, a woman which was diseased with an issue of blood 12 years came behind him and touched the hem of his garment. So this woman, she had an issue where she was experiencing a lot of disposition of her blood. Like she had a long, lengthy period, basically. So that was something that was very unusual, man. Very unusual sickness, disease that this woman had. But as this woman saw the miracles of Yahushua that he did to the lame and the sick, she automatically believed that she could be healed. And it wasn't the fact that she, whether she realized it or not, it's not the fact that she pretty much went to him for the sake of healing. But it was really because she had faith and believed that he can heal her. And her little faith that she had allowed her to be healed while Yahushua was healing her. And another thing too, the reason why Yahushua was able to wrought all of these miracles because Yahushua was a man of faith, great amount of faith. That's why he was able to do these wonders and miracles the way he did. Like walk on the sea, that you read in the book of Matthew 14 and 22. So, being that Yahushua, he's the author, the finisher of our faith. What did he really show? What was the element that what was the ability that he showed forth to do all of these miracles that he did? He showed faith. So again, as it is written, no servant is greater than his master, right? So if Yahushua applied faith to do all these wonderful things, and all he did was use the ability of faith, then that's what we have to apply, brothers. We have to apply that ability. That's what this thing requires. And you got these other Israelite camps that don't understand this. They don't understand. They don't read the scriptures. They read the scriptures, but they're not reading the scriptures, if you know what I'm saying. And they have a totally different view from the true way of acknowledging Yahushua and being an Israelite of the Heavenly Father. They have a misunderstanding of that. But what Yahushua requires us to do is to not go by the law, but to worship him. It's like the Pharisees and Sadducees. They were understudies of the law, and they was only going by what the letter of the law was saying, and as well as the Old Testament. So when Yahushua came on the scene and proclaimed himself to be the Son of God, they was angry at him. Because the Pharisees thought that this guy was overly exalting himself. And even though they saw the miracles that he wrought, they still didn't want to believe him anyway, because when you go deeper as to why they didn't want to believe him, because they already had their position in Jerusalem at the time, given by the Romans. The Romans pretty much paid them off, and they were able to be in those high positions. So what they didn't want is a man coming around taking their positions. And if they believed on him also, then they would lose their position in that particular moment in time. So even though they saw the miracles, they didn't really care about this man being the actual Son of God, even though they kind of knew this. But what they really cared about was their position. That's all it really was. It was never really about believing in the Son of God as he proclaimed himself to be, and as it was known and seen all around, from the Jews as well as the the Pharisees and the Sadducees, which were a sect of Jews that kept the law, that were specialists of the law, excuse me. You know, so you have all of these other camps, and they're coming in that spirit. They know that great millstone are those guys that are sincere and diligent and keep doing the work and know what they're talking about. They know this very well, but they don't want to come under us because these guys have a level of pride, and they think that they have a position that they have that they probably lose by simply coming under us, which is really what they should do. Because at the end of the day, Apostle Tahar is really the priest of all of Israel when you think about it. Like I'm always going to say, this is the truth, but a lot of these guys don't want to come under Apostle Tahar because they're going to lose their position, just like the Pharisees and Sadducees didn't want to acknowledge Yahweh Shai. You know, so, but anyway, in the New Testament, as the Apostle Paul spoke about, that we're no longer looking towards just the law for our salvation anymore. And he wasn't saying that, as I'm saying once again, right, that we're not to do away with the law, but it's by faith that we believe and acknowledge and worship Yahweh Shai. That's the new thing now. That's the new thing. All right? And we're under grace too. So while we're under grace, we have to have the ability of faith and using that faith towards Yahweh Shai. Just like the lame and sick they've used faith, and they believed that he can heal them. And he wound up healing them because they believe he can heal them. So being that word of modern day lame and the sick, we have to apply that element, which is faith, that he can heal us, that he can take us out of the conditions that we're in, out of captivity. All right. So what I did was, I want to go back to Matthew 14 because I skipped a couple of precepts. I didn't read all the way down, so I'm going to go back to that. So I left on verse 30. It says, but when he saw the wind boisterous, he was afraid, and the beginning to sink. And he cried, saying, Lord, save me. So like I was saying before, the reason why Peter was drowning or about to drown under the water, because he didn't focus his mind power on walking on the sea. And he got triggered by the boisterous wind. So when he got triggered by the boisterous wind, once again, he left his focus of having the faith of walking on the sea to see what Yahweh Shai was doing. You know? So then Yahweh Shai said, oh, ye little of faith. So, as I'm going to show you, brothers, man, in the New Testament, it's the fact that the only way we're going to overcome all of this mess that we're involved in right now, the curses, and as well as overcoming this society overall, when this society really, I'm talking about the powers that be, that really brings the forces on home. The only way we're going to overcome these times is through faith. Yahweh Shai is an example of wrought miracles because of what? Faith. So in order for the miracles to come, you gotta apply faith. And that's what I'm going to show you in this lesson that I'm doing, this walk and talk. As you can see me, I'm back in the wilderness again. You know, the fields, whatever you want to call it. So anyway, and immediately Yahweh Shai stretched forth his hand and caught him and said unto him, O thou little of faith, and wherefore didst thou doubt? See, that doubt came in. When he saw the boisterous wind, he got triggered and he doubted. So, again, in this truth, there's no space for doubt. Like I'm gonna say, a lot of men fell out the truth because they doubted what they were involved in. They didn't have the right mindset. They expected, or they could have expected, the Yahushua to come in their time. Or it could have been their woman that took them out the truth. Whatever it was that took them out. But they got taken out the truth because they really didn't believe in this thing. And remember, as it is written, faith is a gift. So not everybody has faith. Not every brother in the truth is going to have faith. And that's why these guys, they become separate from us. Because ultimately the Lord didn't give them the ultimate faith. Like the parable that Yahushua gave in Matthew 13 about how you have let me go and get it. Matthew 13. Yeah, this is it right here. Right? Yeah. So I'm going to read the first couple of verses in this right here again. So anyway, moving on. This is Matthew 13, verse 1. The same day went Yahushua out of the house and sat by the seaside. And great multitude were gathered together unto him, so that he went into a ship and sat. And the whole multitude stood on the shore. And he spake many things unto them in parables, saying, Behold, a sower went forth to sow. And when he sowed, some seeds fell by the wayside, and the fowls came and devoured them up. And it also reads, some fell upon stony places where they had not much earth, and forthwith they sprung up, because they had no deepness of earth. In other words, these were men that were not grounded in. Just like the Apostle Paul said. And I'm going to roughly paraphrase what he said. I think it's in the book of Galatians chapter 2. Where he said, be ye rooted up in him. As also Paul said that he was also a prisoner of hope. You see? So that's the mentality we're all supposed to have, man. We're supposed to be rooted up in him, and as well as we're supposed to have the mentality of being a prisoner of hope. Like I was contemplating to myself the other day, man, on how I've been in this truth for so long and everything. And I put so much work in, went through the ups and downs. And you know, I couldn't picture myself as I was contemplating, just leaving everything that I put into this truth. It just wouldn't make sense for me, you know. And when you really look at this world in general, this world is it's dissipating, man. It's going slowly but surely. And I mean, the world that was when I came into the truth is no longer what it is today. The spirit of it it's done. We're really. Let me just say this. There's hardly no spirit or life in this place anymore. It's just dying slowly. Like, I mean, I'm located in London right now. And, you know, as I'm located in London. And when you go to West London, there's hardly anyone there. There's no business. There's nothing going on. There's no spirit of opulence and prosperity no more. So, what I was thinking, man, I mean, it would be a cursed thing if I fell out of this thing, because I would be left with nothing, which this world was always nothing, really, even though the world had the appearance of opulence and prosperity to it, but this world was always nothing. And the truth is showing that this world is nothing right now, because, you know, due to this whole, you know, COVID situation we're in, it shut everything down. All right, so this place is done, man. So I mean, if you fall out of this truth and you've tasted the heavenly doctrine of the Heavenly Father and tasted and known what's of this doctrine, then you know, you're surely cursed, man. I have to say, you're surely cursed. And it's not even really up to us to stay in this thing, and it's not up to us to pretty much remain in this thing. It's all through the will and power of Yahweh Shema Shai. That's what it's all about. You know, so that's why we have to continue to pray that we remain in this thing, this faith. You know, because once you leave this thing, man, you don't have nothing.